Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for a Season 2 anime first impression. This is going to be on the Misfit of Demon King Academy. There's a few Season 2s that I'm going to eventually watch, maybe not week by week. This is probably one of those that I won't watch week by week, but I will eventually watch it. Because I did watch the first season, I read a little bit of the manga. It's a decent story, and I really wanted to see what this second season was doing, and I will say it's a pretty solid second season beginning. But it's a second season, so you haven't seen the first season, it might be a little confusing. So before anything, if you have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. You guys can also follow me on social media, it's on the description there. You guys can follow me on Discord as well, and give some love to my other first impression videos. I have quite a bit of them ready. I think time of recording, I think I counted about 12 or 13 already out. So quite a bit of them already out. So make sure you're watching those as well as the ones that are to come. So if you want to keep up with my first impression videos, might as well subscribe. So, okay, this is the Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2. And this one aired, I believe, on Sunday. And there's one episode out, time of recording. So yeah, that's where we're standing at right now. The Misfit of Demon King Academy is essentially a story of a Demon King who got tired of war and destruction and essentially resurrected himself once he got to a point where he thought there was peace. I think like 2,000 years later, and he basically at a place now where demons and humans kind of coexist together, but they're still prejudiced with one another. So that's basically where we're standing. The first episode of second season starts with kind of the past, and essentially a group of people creating a chosen child or something like this. Where eventually it's going to be born, and that child is going to be grow up to essentially defeat the Demon King, and we then get pushed back to the present, and yeah, there's not much going on in the beginning other than we say hi to all the girls, basically harem that this guy has built upon, and there's quite a bit of them. So if you haven't seen the first one, you'd probably be confused. I mean, I was slightly confused because you forget them all when there's not just one love interest and there's like six of them. It's kind of like, two or three of them are just there, to be honest. But anyways, he then goes to class, and in class, again, prejudice, demons are on one side, humans are on the other. Um, and the teacher announces that there's going to be a new professor. Humans are all like, oh, wow, this is going to be a professor who is not even a noble, blah, blah, and because he's a demon. And he explains, like, I was part of the army of blah, 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 and, like, only second best to the Demon King's army. So he's a well-respected demon, and everyone's like, okay, you're well-respected. Then he calls the Demon King out. He's like, but you guys have the Demon King in your own class, and you choose to ignore him. And everyone's like, what? What are you talking about? And obviously, it's the guy. That's the actual reincarnation of Demon King. And he basically plays a power card where he uses his power to make everyone bow down to the Demon King. And the Demon King finally like says, okay, yeah, it's me. What do you want? And attacks him. And the reason that he attacks the professor is that he realizes that it's not the professor. It's actually the being that we saw in the beginning of the episode, which was it's basically a god who creates gods. And he takes away his power, and there's a whole like, what the heck did you do to me kind of deal. And yeah. Then for the rest of the episode, they basically try to look for the group. We see a little bit more of old characters that came out in the first season. And basically, this group that they're looking for makes themselves known by separating everyone of the Demon King's group. And we don't know why they did that, but they did. and the only thing we saw is that they took a specific girl from the school and they took away her power. I don't really fully understand what her power was, but it's gonna probably do chaos. So, do I like the second season? Yeah, I do. I do like that they're moving from human demons, human demons, human demons. Now they're adding this god figures, as well as god figures working with demons, and demons with basically who don't agree with the philosophy of all the demons that are living there. And I think that's a very much, well, at least here in the US, it's a very well known that when there was the segregation movement, or against segregation, there was the people who wanted to do it peacefully, who wanted a result to be peaceful and to live a peaceful life. And then there's those that wanted just, they had so much hate built up against the people that had oppressed them that they didn't want it to be as peaceful as the other group. So I think it's very much like that. I mean, you have demons who have been oppressed, and they have been oppressed because one of their major leaders, Demon King, decided to reincarnate himself, and basically, in their eyes, abandon them. Abandon them to just kind of fend for themselves, just because he wanted to chill 2,000 years later. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good premises of second season. I think it's gonna do well, at least for a second season. A lot of these series, if they make a second season, they either become a flop and they just stop there, or they do well and they continue the story. I feel like this one can do well and that they can do a third season if they wanted to. I can almost hear a lot of YouTubers and other reviewers going, well, why would they even make a third season? Because it's really not a top anime. It's not something that people are talking about, but it is it's a good story. It's a good watching the background story. So 6.5 out of 10. It's the second season of a not so famous anime, so we probably won't hear much about it, but I do think that it deserves some love. So go give it to them. It is on Crunchyroll. All season one's there, and season two, obviously, episode 1 is there now. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. And I'll see you guys next time. Like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.